World War II, a global conflict that shaped the 20th century. World War II, often referred to as the Second World War, was a global conflict that lasted from 1939 to 1945, reshaping the political, economic, and social landscape of the 20th century. Emerging from the aftermath of World War I, it became the deadliest and most widespread war in history, involving numerous nations and resulting in unprecedented destruction and loss of life. This essay provides a comprehensive exploration of World War II, covering its origins, major theaters of conflict, key events, and its far-reaching impact on the world. The origins of World War II. 1. The Treaty of Versailles. The Treaty of Versailles, signed in 1919 to formally end World War I, imposed harsh penalties on Germany, including territorial losses, military restrictions, and significant reparations. The treaty's punitive terms and the perceived humiliation of Germany sowed the seeds of resentment and instability in Europe. 2. Expansionist ambitions. In the 1930s, several aggressive and expansionist regimes emerged, challenging the post-World War I order. Adolf Hitler's Nazi Germany, led by the dictator's territorial ambitions and ideologies of Aryan supremacy, sought to overturn the Versailles Treaty. Japan, under the influence of militarists, embarked on a campaign of imperial expansion in Asia, including the invasion of Manchuria in 1931. 3. Appeasement and failure of diplomacy. The international response to these aggressive moves was marked by appeasement and a failure of diplomacy. Western powers, including Britain and France, sought to avoid conflict by making concessions to expansionist regimes. The Munich Agreement of 1938, which allowed Hitler to annex the Sudetenland from Czechoslovakia, is a notable example of appeasement. The outbreak of war in Europe, 1939. 1. The Molotov–Ribbentrop Pact. The signing of the Molotov–Ribbentrop Pact between Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union in August 1939 was a pivotal moment. This non-aggression pact included a secret protocol that divided Eastern Europe into spheres of influence for the two totalitarian regimes. The pact paved the way for the invasion of Poland. 2. Invasion of Poland, September 1939. On September 1, 1939, Nazi Germany launched a brutal invasion of Poland, using Blitzkrieg tactics that combined rapid infantry advances with air and tank warfare. This invasion marked the beginning of World War II in Europe. In response, Britain and France declared war on Germany on September 3. 3. The Phony War. The months following the invasion of Poland saw a period of relative inaction on the Western Front, often referred to as the Phony War. This lull allowed both sides to prepare for the intensification of hostilities. Major theaters of conflict. 1. European theater. The European theater of World War II was characterized by a series of major campaigns, battles, and turning points. A. The Battle of France, May to June 1940. Germany's rapid advance through France led to the fall of Paris and the evacuation of British and French forces from Dunkirk. B. The Battle of Britain, 1940. The Royal Air Force's successful defense against the German Luftwaffe prevented a German invasion of Britain. C. Operation Barbarossa, June 1941. Nazi Germany's invasion of the Soviet Union, aiming for the conquest of vast territories, resulted in a brutal and protracted conflict on the Eastern Front. D. Stalingrad, 1942–1943. The Battle of Stalingrad became one of the most decisive and brutal battles of the war, with the Soviet Union defeating the German army. E. D-Day, June 6, 1944. The Allied invasion of Normandy, also known as D-Day, marked the beginning of the liberation of Western Europe from Nazi occupation. F. The Battle of the Bulge, December 1944 to January 1945. A major German offensive in the Ardennes was repelled by Allied forces. 2. Pacific Theater. The Pacific Theater was marked by Japan's expansion in Asia and the subsequent conflict with Allied forces, particularly the United States. A. Pearl Harbor, December 7, 1941. The surprise attack on the U.S. naval base at Pearl Harbor by Japan led to the United States' entry into the war. B. Island hopping campaign. The Allies, led by the United States, pursued an island hopping strategy, gradually advancing across the Pacific and liberating territories from Japanese occupation. C. The Battle of Midway, June 1942. A decisive naval battle in the Pacific, the Battle of Midway shifted the balance of power in favor of the Allies. Key events and turning points. One of the darkest chapters of World War II was the Holocaust, the systematic genocide of approximately 6 million Jews by Nazi Germany and its collaborators. Concentration camps, mass shootings, and gas chambers were used to implement this horrifying policy of extermination. The United States' development of atomic weapons under the Manhattan Project culminated in the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August 1945. These bombings hastened Japan's surrender and ushered in the nuclear age. High-level Allied conferences, including the Tehran Conference, 1943, the Yalta Conference, 1945, and the Potsdam Conference, 1945, shaped the post-war world order. They addressed issues such as the division of Germany, the establishment of the United Nations, and the post-war occupation of Japan. The end of World War II. The defeat of Nazi Germany, 1945. In May 1945, Nazi Germany surrendered unconditionally to the Allies, marking the end of the war in Europe. Victory in Europe, V-Day, was celebrated on May 8, 1945. The Pacific Theater and the atomic bombings. The war in the Pacific continued into 1945, with fierce battles in the Philippines, Iwo Jima, and Okinawa. The atomic bombings of Hiroshima, August 6, and Nagasaki, August 9, led to Japan's surrender on August 15, 1945. Victory over Japan, V-Day, was celebrated on September 2, 1945. Consequences of World War II. Devastation and human toll. World War II resulted in immense destruction, with entire cities reduced to rubble, millions of lives lost, and widespread suffering. The war had a profound impact on civilians, including refugees, survivors of the Holocaust, and those who experienced occupation. World War II was a cataclysmic event that reshaped the world and left an indelible mark on history. It exposed the darkest aspects of human nature, from the horrors of genocide to the destructive power of modern warfare. At the same time, it demonstrated the resilience of nations, the triumph of democracy over tyranny, and the capacity for international cooperation. The legacy of World War II continues to influence geopolitics, international relations, and efforts to prevent future conflicts. It serves as a stark reminder of the importance of diplomacy, collective security, and the pursuit of peace in a world scarred by the memory of war.